Howdy folks, hope you're doing all right. Running a bit late tonight, as you can probably tell. I haven't done my hair. Got bad hat hair. I've been in a hat all day. Still haven't managed to get home yet, so that's why there hasn't been a show. Going to where 16, 17 minutes ago like it should have been. So I've just pulled up to grab a bite to eat because I haven't eaten all day either, and I figured by the time I get that and by the time I get home, it'll be getting close to 8 or 8:30, so it's getting a bit late for everybody in the southern states. And I'll be honest, I haven't got much news. Today I've been on the road, most of it, doing a lot of moving, and there'll be find a little bit of that tomorrow, I hope, and then fingers crossed, all things being equal in a beautiful world, be out of here. For those of you who are playing along, Maggie has moved out of I think she was in Budrum, at a hospital in Budrum. She's heading home. Well, not home exactly. She's heading to a rehab hospital much closer to her home, which is a little further north on the Sunshine Coast. So, God love you, Maggie. Such a wonderful woman, a strong woman who has been battling this terrible thing that has afflicted her for the last few years. And God, she fights it so hard. If there is one person, well, there's two people I'm praying that the med beds come through for. She is one of them, and of course our lovely Sandy is the other. So, God love them. I just really need a little bit of time to catch up on what's going on. I believe there's been a lot of angst in the Parliament. I've been trying to listen to, and I have heard quite a lot of estimates, shorts, if you like, that have come out, which are quite frightening. And Australia is just about ready to go $1 trillion into debt, which the public servants don't want to tell you about. Another thing I've noticed, and this is an observation rather than a criticism, something that I've noticed, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, these department secretaries, these deputy secretaries, these under things of the bureaucracy, the vast majority of them appear to be women. And some of them quite militant women. Some of them quite aggressive women. Some of them very protective of their departments rather than anything protective to do with the people. Is it just me, or have others noticed that women, militant women, some I suspect who may, like other women, are the real power behind what's going on in this country at the moment? We all know politicians change, but the bureaucracy doesn't. The bureaucrats, these department heads, these deputy department heads, secretaries, as I think they call them, they know where all the bodies are buried. They've been in the bureaucracy probably all their working lives. They are going to walk away with very handy super packages, very handy retirement packages, whereas none of us will. Or certainly not like theirs. And it just strikes me as strange that many of these women, not all, but many, continually revert to, I'll have to take that on notice. I'll have to take that on notice. There's been a lot of questions taken on notice this week. I suppose there is in any estimates week. But, my God, there are not a lot of answers coming or forthcoming from previous estimates. As one of the senators, I'm not sure if it was Bragg or someone else, actually held one of the officials to task over questions on notice. She said, I have to take on that question on notice. He said, so let me get this straight. You're taking on notice a question about the questions on notice that were asked last time and why you hadn't answered those questions on notice and the notice from the previous questions on notice. Is that right? Yes. I'm taking the question on notice. So I can't tell you why I haven't been able to answer any of your questions, I'll take that on notice. If this is the quality of public servant, if this is the quality of lady that is running the department, God help us, is it any wonder that we are having these sorts of issues? So, I don't know. It's merely an observation, but it now, particularly the Home Affairs Department, that woman that runs the Home Affairs Department, my God, does she know where the bodies are buried, that one. And with a look, with a shake or a nod of the head, a very brief raise of the finger, she has her entire bureaucratic team trained exceptionally well. And I think their main piece of training is, if in the first instance you can't answer a question without giving too much information, take it on notice. Now, this leads me to the next question. Because the bureaucracy doesn't change, but the government does, the bureaucracy essentially runs the country because they make the decisions. They speed up or slow down those decisions as they go through the system. They are the ones that smooth the way or make it very rough going if people are pushing their way through the legal maze that might result from some of those decisions. And I've got to say, by and large, on appearances, in the last few estimates, because I've really only taken up interest in them in the last few years, I have to say it is staggering the number of women, particularly, well, let's just take the legal department for one. Today, there were 4 women and the minister who were sitting there trying to talk constitutional law issues, amongst other things. They're all very, very senior lawyers, I suppose. But my God, they're there not to answer questions. Now, I guess they do so even-handedly, do they? When a Labor Party is in opposition and the Liberal Party is in leadership, do they have just as much of a lack of knowledge? Do they still take many questions? What I'm saying is, are they protecting their minister's ass regardless of the flavour of government? And the answer to that question is yes. So doesn't that make the bureaucracy the facilitator of the deep state in this country? And why is it full of women? It's just a question. Why an observation? I haven't done the count. Maybe I can go and get one of those AI algorithms to do that and give me a count on how many. Might be an interesting exercise for you to do. Ask ChatGPT how many women, or to name the department secretaries for every department in the Australian government and the deputy secretaries. And I reckon it'll probably be able to come up with a reasonable list. It'd be interesting to see how it's split, because at this juncture, I don't believe I've seen one male head of department. I could be wrong. There used to be one who turned up pretty regularly. He came from the AFP, but he got sacked recently, and they put another bloke on who's pretending to be a female by the look of her. And she's saying some pretty frightening things about what the AFP are going to do going forward. And none of it seems to be for the people, sadly. Bastards. But at any rate, we will push on regardless. Folks, I'm going to have to love you and leave you, unfortunately. Probably got a couple of minutes left. I'll try and read some of what you're saying down here. G'day from Pinaroo. Pete from Pinaroo and his lovely other half have decided they might be interested in a cruise too, folks. So I'm going to give you some broad speaking prices here. Greg Watler sent a link through, which I was going to put up in tonight's show. What I will do is post that link in my Facebook page. If you're a member of my Facebook family, you'll find that there. And I'll put it in the Telegram channel as well. And I'm not sure if Vince is up, but if he is, I might get him to try and put it on the front page, or one of the pages at least, on our VoFHQ home site, vofhq.com. And if you want to check that out, by all means do. The cruise that has been sent through is for May. It's a 4-night cruise to Airlie Beach and back, 4 nights, which would be just fabulous. Love that. The price is a little misleading. First up, it was about $680 odd per person. So I looked at some rooms. An interior room was the cheapest room. I want to say it was about $1,200, just over $1,200 for 2 people. A room with a view, which I gather is a portal, which was about $1,300. A room with a balcony was just under $1,400, and there were suites that were just under $1,500. I imagine suites are a bit bigger. You might be able to squeeze a few more bodies in there, so if you're a family that wants to come and bring a few extras, then you probably can. I'll try and get those links up tonight, but it might be tomorrow. If you are interested, let me know. Carl@vofhq.com, and we will start making bookings. And I believe with some of these cruise lines, you only need to book with like $50. So you can pay it off over time, and the cruise isn't until May next year, so there's a goodly amount of time to pay it off if that's what you choose to do. We'd love to have you on board, have no fear. I was talking to Ainsley Bullion today, and boy, are they busy. Thankfully, many of you have chosen the option that keeps you out of the queue. Their online business is very busy. Huge amount of emails coming into the office, and a phenomenal amount of product going out the door and being packed by their office in Brisbane. Their Melbourne office is also going off. They've had a new delivery of stock as well. I mentioned the other night that there might have been some stock they were having a hard time getting. Turns out they've got stock of that now, and there are other things that are turning out to be a little bit harder to get. The price of silver at the moment is just under $81, I think it was when I heard about it a bit earlier, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. It is, as I said to you last night, I think it's going to have a bit of a rest. And I wouldn't be surprised if Friday maybe it goes up and sits at around $82.50 or 80, some little under $83 before the weekend is my prediction. But then next Monday, Tuesday, expect it to go hard again. In fact, the banks are going to be having a really big, hard time covering their debts, and silver is becoming very difficult to buy at the moment. Now, some of the big industry investors, the big banking institutions, have got real issues on their hands being able to buy enough silver to get themselves out of this COMEX-driven debt. And that's why we are seeing the price go up. The reason we're seeing it come down a little bit is because there is some big money interests coming out of Europe and the UK that are trying to suppress that. They're trying to stop it. So they're putting a huge amount into the system, and the system is bouncing back even harder and pushing harder again, driving the price even higher. It's never been seen before, and it's certainly going to change the world of finance. That means that even at $81 an ounce for silver, it is still worth buying. If you can get your paper out of the bank, I would do so immediately, because there's going to be a day, and I don't think it's going to be too far away, where the banks aren't going to open, and whatever you thought you had in there, you won't have anymore. It won't be worth anything. That day is coming. Why do you think people are lined up around city blocks trying to convert their little pieces of plastic into something that's tangible and real? And can I tell you, Byron Bobs are the way to go. Those 1/10 Byron Bobs that we're giving out for, well, we're not giving them out, obviously, we're putting them out in our holder. And if you want some, by all means, email me, carl@vofhq.com, and I will send them to you. Vince is doing up some new holders. Last night he was going back, as you heard, to do some hand painting, and he'll have a new batch in the mail to me probably today, and I'll get them early next week, and I'll be able to send them out to you. But the Byron Bobs are exceptionally useful. Right now, each one of those little coins is worth just under $12. Now, you've got to be pretty happy with that from a silver perspective, it's something that's very easy to use and trade for $10. If you've got a 1 ounce coin that's 80 or 85 or 90 or $100 worth, it's pretty hard to shave off $25 off it. But with a Byron Bob, it's not hard at all. So if you are buying silver, I urge you to consider buying it some in usable form. And those 1/10 of an ounce Byron Bobs are very, very usable. And they're going to become even more so in the near future. If you want to have something that's easy to flick around and hand around and pay for things, it'd be nice to be able to walk in, hand over, 4 of those or 5 of those, and that you'll sort out breakfast for you and somebody else and all your coffees for the morning. It's that simple. You've just got to find the businesses that accept them, and trust me, when the banks aren't open and the businesses can't get their money, they're going to start accepting silver too. All right, folks, I better head off. You guys have a good one. I'm sorry I couldn't do a little bit more for you tonight, but we will see what we can arrange tomorrow. Never know, it might be from a new location. If all things go well, we'll talk to you soon. Hooroo, be safe on the roads. There are many dickheads out there, and I'll be joining them shortly.